So this news has dropped in the last few hours, and everybody's speaking their thoughts and minds, and some people even doing their own little eulogies. But me personally, I'm just gonna say what I think about the character, the performer, the professional wrestler, Hulk Hogan. Terry, you can form your own opinion about him and what he did outside of the ring or whatever. But yeah, but also this taught me one thing. This is basically proving that one right doesn't make up for a dozen wrongs, but one wrong can erase everything right you did. Yes, he's not a perfect person. Yes, he might have said and done some egregious things outside of the ring. But that's the reason why I'm talking about the character and not the person. But Hulk Hogan, I mean, the thing is, Hulk Hogan, he pretty much ran the 80s and the early 90s. And he was one of the people who transcended professional wrestling. He took wrestling from a cult following that was kind of an underground, not really underground, but kind of a thing that was, not so widespread. And he took it to mainstream levels. He made professional wrestling a household name. He made it a worldwide thing. Sure, there was other promotions like Japan and stuff like that, and also luchadors in Mexico, but none of them were as big as American wrestling at the time. And Hulk Hogan, along with Ric Flair, they popularized and made wrestling mainstream and actually made it cool to talk about. Those are the dudes who were talking about, say your prayers and eat your vitamins and, because you notice that like all other sports had faces, football had a face, basketball had a face, even soccer had a face. But professional wrestling, which wasn't even really taken serious as a sport back then, you know, Hulk Hogan was actually one of the faces. He was the face of a whole generation pretty much. And my favorite Hulk Hogan character of all time was Hollywood Hulk Hogan when he turned heel back in 1994 to form the NWO. He was one of the biggest professional wrestling superstars on earth from the early 80s to the mid and late 90s, even up till recently. And he did this all before the social media age. And he created so many memories when he slammed Andre the Giant. Him versus Ric Flair. Him versus the Ultimate Warrior. Him versus Sting. Him leading the NWO. Him versus The Rock, which is regarded as a top 5 WrestleMania main event of all time. And it's kind of ironic that his death is pretty much on the 10-year anniversary of when he was outed for his racist comments on a radio show, which I think he said that he didn't even really recall being recorded. But, I mean, hey, it's out there now. You said what you said, and now you have to, at the time, I guess you had to live with it. And yes, it was extremely crappy of him to say those things, and you can draw your own conclusion as to whether you want to forgive him or not. Most people won't, but like I said, it's kind of like, well, not really quite like the Chris Benoit situation. But in general, I can separate the entertainer from the person. The man, the entertainer, one of the all-time greats, and that's all I got to say about that.